it's the toughest thing that you will ever do in your life, and there are no words that you can say, but let me say that our hearts are going out with the families.
Interim Superintendent of Hamilton County Schools, Dr. Kurt Kelly, echoes the community response considering yesterday's tragic accident. Heavy hearts as federal agents now joined in the investigation into the cause of the school bus crash that claimed the lives of at least 5 children. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Greg Glover.
And I'm Cindy Sexton. The community continues to grieve as it rallies in support of the Woodmore Elementary family.
Yesterday, around 20 minutes after 3, 37 kindergarten through 5th grade students were on their way home when their bus crashed. Here's what we know so far. At least 5 children are confirmed dead. 12 students remain in the hospital, 6 of those in critical condition, 6 listed as stable condition.
The NTSB is investigating the accident. 4 of the children have been identified.
The names of those 4 victims were released by family members.
There is 6-year-old Zaira Mateen, 9-year-old Cordesia Jones, 9-year-old Zoe Nash, and 6-year-old Damayan Brown. Today, family, friends, school, faculty, and community members try to grasp the reality of what happened.
We have team coverage of how the community is coming together to support each other during this time of mourning. David Carroll is live at New Monumental Baptist Church, where a memorial service will soon get underway. David?
Greg and Cindy, I don't know if the entire Woodmore community is here tonight, but it sure seems that way. Woodmore and beyond. Traffic is backed up in both directions, and New Monumental Baptist Church will no doubt be at capacity as this program is held this evening to honor and remember the victims of the Woodmore bus crash. I've heard from some families in the on their way in this evening who tell us that this is where their children will learn what happened yesterday. It hasn't been easy for parents to explain what happened, and they're using this event tonight as a way to explain the tragedy to their own children. Now, Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Kelly McCarthy is going to join me now. She talked to the mothers of 2 of the victims today, and Kelly has more on their story.
David, I talked with those 2 mothers, and they showed incredible strength today under such tragic circumstances. They showed their true strength, and they said that their family is coming together by their side to offer them support. We talked about their children who died in this horrible crash yesterday, and they talked a little bit about the other circumstances surrounding the crash.
None of them kids deserve that. None of them. My baby had a whole life ahead of her.
One of Jasmine Mateen's little girls died in Monday's school bus crash. 6-year-old Zaira Mateen was in 1st grade, and she was riding the school bus with her 2 sisters. Zasmine and Zakaria Mateen survived the crash, but are in the ICU.
Well, Zakaria has a concussion. She has injuries to the neck. She got a fracture to the spine. Zasmine, she got a concussion, injuries to the neck, bruises on her legs, and they haven't really gave me any updates on her legs, but my baby can't walk.
Mateen says she wrote a letter to the school weeks ago complaining about her children's bus driver.
I've been calling complaining about this bus driver since August.
Parents rushed to Tally Road Monday after hearing about the crash. Mother Diamond Brown says she watched as emergency crews removed children from the bus.
And they was pulling all the kids off the back of the bus. And I know my baby, he rides the front of the bus. And when they told me that they started from the back of the bus, I knew that my baby don't ride the back of the bus.
Her only child, 6-year-old Damayan Brown, did not survive the crash. She says she will now be fighting for justice for him.
I will be in every court hearing. I will be there front and center. Grieving and all, I will be there. Because that was my only child that he took from me.
And now, David, these mothers still have so many unanswered questions about what happened, how did this happen, and of course, they're still just flooded with grief about the loss of their just little children, 6 years old for both of these mothers. So they're really hoping to find some more answers soon, but they do appreciate the comfort of the community that has been giving them some support at this time.
Kelly, thank you very much for that report. And just as we mentioned yesterday at this time, we figured by now we'd see the faces of the children who died. We have indeed seen some faces and learned some identities, and it just breaks our heart all over again as these numbers we heard yesterday have now become actual little children. Now, the National Transportation Safety Board is investigating what happened yesterday, and we are getting some answers along the way. Sarah Sidery has more on the findings of the NTSB as announced here in Chattanooga today. Sarah?
Well, David, we learned that investigators arrived in Chattanooga this morning. They're going to be on the ground for the next 7 to 10 days, and they are asking any witnesses, any parents of students who rode that bus to please come forward and give them any information. We learned that the 24-year-old bus driver had just obtained his commercial driving license back in April. Investigators are going to be looking into his driver history and also review the onboard cameras as well as the bus's black box. Now, we have heard several reports of witnesses saying the driver may have been driving erratically or making comments to the children in the moments leading up to the crash, but the NTSB is not confirming that yet.
We certainly send our condolences to the parents of those children. My daughter rides the school bus every day. I understand that. We will do everything we can to try to prevent this from happening again.
We do know that a car was following the bus at the time of the crash. Investigators will speak with the driver if he wants to cooperate with them. If not, they are able to use Chattanooga Police's interview with him last night. And again, they're asking witnesses, any parents who may have pictures or videos, anything that can be of use to them, to please come forward and contact Chattanooga Police.
Sarah, thank you very much for that report. And that 24-year-old driver, John Anthony Walker is being held on charges of vehicular homicide and reckless driving. Now, at Erlanger Medical Center and Children's Hospital, we have talked about the miracles being performed there. They have been able to keep some of these children alive and hopefully nurse them back to health, despite the loss of 5 of their classmates. And just wanted to touch on something we learned at Erlanger today about how they are employing the use of several chaplains to keep the community informed and their spirits lifted.
What's happening today, we're continuing to treat them. We're treating them the way we always do, but we're currently offering our services to the staff, and we provided family chaplains and at Woodmore Elementary.
That from Erlanger Medical Center today. Also, Dr. Kirk Kelly. Well, let's go to this story, actually. Yesterday's tragedy, certainly a heartbreak for the first responders who were on the scene there. Crews had to work for several hours as they were making sure they had all the children out of that wreckage of the bus. Eyewitness News reporter Kate Smith has more on that story.
8 fire trucks responded to yesterday's tragedy along with 12 county ambulances. It's something first responders spend their entire career training for, but it's training they never want to put to use. Calls slowly inundated the Chattanooga Fire Department. Firefighters knew something serious just happened.
I think it hit home with a lot of our firefighters that have children that ride the bus every day. Some of them are still struggling today, wanting to go pick their sons and daughters up themselves.
Quint 13 was the first to arrive on the scene with 4 firefighters, minutes after being dispatched.
Much like a war zone. We had parents, victims, we call walking wounded the people that can self-extricate from the vehicle. We're in one location.
Crews instantly worked their game plan. Their main mission, to rescue as many students as possible.
They disassembled the inside of the bus, and it's very confined space, so you didn't have a lot of room for the tools and the firefighters, but they stayed in there.
For hours, they broke glass, stripped away metal, and comforted crying children.
You're in there 2 hours talking with someone that's trapped. There's a major connection. You're there with no buffer. There's no buffer, and it's a long time exposure.
A hard day for our hometown heroes.
We all go home. There's There's 5 new angels that left a lot of folks behind.
Men and women who work endlessly around the clock protecting us appreciate the support from a giving community.
Very sad and it's emotional, and there's some anger there that why did this have to happen, but and all in all, I tried to tell them they gave the best opportunity for people to survive that anyone in the country could have done.
First responders from all around the Tennessee Valley came to Chattanooga for assistance. Counselors will be at departments for any first responders. For now, I'm live in Chattanooga. Kate Smith, Channel 3 Eyewitness News. David?
And for those of you just turning on the television this evening, you may be wondering where we are this evening. We are at New Monumental Baptist Church on Woodmore Lane, near Woodmore Elementary School, and most of the lights that are provided here are headlights of cars coming from both directions to this memorial service that was to have started about 10 minutes ago, but people are still entering. Now, investigators spent the majority of the day just trying to find answers and restore normalcy to a community shaken by yesterday's tragedy. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Tim Pham has more on how this community is coming together.
More than 24 hours after a tragedy in this community, this is one of many growing memorials for the victims. It's one way some say they can begin to heal.
It has to touch the heart. I got so overwhelmed when I went to the school just a minute ago. I went back to my car and sat down and cried.
When a community feels broken, some need a shoulder to lean on. Others just want to show up and say a prayer. It's how some can come to terms with a difficult reality.
I have a family member who is in hospital now, recuperating, and we're praying for his recovery.
It's why Quenston Coleman showed up where the events unfolded, while he waits for a relative who's recovering in the ICU.
I spoke with his grandmother, and she said that he was just holding on and that she was giving it over to God.
Tally Road was closed for nearly a full day. This is video of the school bus being towed away. For neighbors, it's a step towards normalcy while they find ways to help their children understand what happened to their peers.
Just keep going with our regular day. We did end up last night, instead of coming back home, we decided to go and stay with friends so that she didn't have to see all of the police and all the ambulances.
The scene is clear and the bus is gone. Now the city works to remove the tree on a road that won't ever be the same. Among the debris is a crayon and a ribbon, a reminder that this tragedy involved innocent young children. Reporting in Chattanooga, Tim Pham, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
And Tim put that very well. The community will never be the same. The school will never be the same. The attendance rate at Woodmore today was at about 30%, as many children did not attend class today, but those who did were comforted and consoled. And the doors at Woodmore will be open again tomorrow for children and staff members who could stand a little consolation or perhaps a hot meal. We're coming back with more from New Monumental Baptist Church in just a moment, but for now, let's go back to Greg and Cindy.
David, thank you. Eyewitness News at 6 continues.
We're learning more about the driver in the school bus crash. His mother is asking for mercy.
We do have a little bit of chance for rain coming up for tomorrow, especially late in the day. I've got all the details on that, and a peek into next week when we may see some more rain. It's all coming up.
We are back at New Monumental Baptist Church, and of course the question on so many people's minds today, why did this happen? Who was responsible? How do we keep it from happening again? With many questions focusing on the bus driver, 24-year-old Jonathan Walker. Our Cameron Taylor has been looking into that angle of the story this evening and joins us now live. Cameron?
Thank you, David. Well, state records show that Walker did not have a clean driving history. In fact, just 2 months ago, his bus was involved in a crash on Sylvan Drive where he sideswiped a car, according to a police report that we obtained. Now, in that case, no one was hurt. Now, we're told by his mother that he's been a bus driver since August. He's been driving that bus since then for Durham School Services. That's a bus contractor for the school system. We got a statement from them earlier today, and they said our entire team at Durham School Services is devastated by the accident yesterday that tragically claimed the lives of Chattanooga students, and we are working with the Chattanooga Police Department and the Hamilton County School District to investigate. And earlier today I also spoke with Walker's mother, who says her son called her moments after the crash. Take a listen.
He said, "Mom, I love you. I've been in domestic wreck on the bus."
Now, Walker's mother says he wasn't speeding, but police say he was driving well above the 30-mile-per-hour speed limit at the intersection of the crash. And, of course, his mother defending him in this and asking for mercy in all of this, David.
Cameron Taylor, thank you very much for that report. We're being told that this memorial program behind us at New Monumental is very emotional, very inspiring, and we'll have a full report on that tonight at 11 on Channel 3 Eyewitness News. I'm David Carroll. Let's go back to Greg and Cindy.
David, thank you. This crash brings to mind for many people in the Tennessee Valley what happened in the school bus crash of March of the year 2000. It happened in Murray County, Georgia.
At the time, it was one of the worst school bus crashes in history. 3 children died, 4 others were severely injured when Rhonda Clower crossed the tracks driving in Tenga, Georgia. Her bus was hit by a train. A videotape revealed Clower was playing loud music and did not stop at the crossing. In 2005, she was sentenced to 4 years in prison, but was released a short time later for good behavior.
We'll have more on the crash, the investigation, and that memorial service that's going on this evening a little later in the program. But now it's time to talk weather. The temperatures dropped a bit since this morning.
Has colder weather come to stay this Thanksgiving week? We'll check in with Storm Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Barris when we come back.
Well, today was the 57th day in a row since we've seen 1/10 of an inch of rain. We have to go all the way back in September to see that, at least 1/10 of an inch of rain. We've had a couple hundreds here and there, but I do see sort of light at the end of the tunnel on this. There are a few sprinkles out over Middle Tennessee and West Tennessee. These are just sprinkles, and a lot of this is not hitting the ground. There are more showers further out to the west and the other side of the Mississippi. A pretty good storm out into the Great Plains with snow further up into Wisconsin and Minnesota. But this little area of showers is not going to give us that much. But next week, I really see something developing. Winds are calm. Right now, it's 52 in Cleveland, 52 in the city. Dalton's 54, Murphy 46, Athens at 54, 59 and 28, the high and the low. Now we're 21 inches below normal in rain. Here's the latest Vipercast. This is the close-up view. Again, just partly cloudy skies throughout tonight, and then we'll see an increase in clouds for tomorrow. A fairly strong southerly wind, too, so any of the smoke out there is going to be going off to the north. By tomorrow around 5 o'clock, we'll see lots of clouds, some showers, some sprinkles, nothing that heavy during the daytime hours, but it looks like after dark and throughout the early morning hours, coming up into Thursday morning, we'll see some showers, and we may see about 1/10 of an inch, but not much. Tonight, 39 with some clouds, light winds. For tomorrow, we're going to see those high temperatures climbing up to about 67 with mostly cloudy skies and a southerly wind. Tomorrow night, 52 with a few more clouds and maybe a few showers, but again, just 1/10 of an inch. On Thursday, we're looking at showers in the morning. That's Thanksgiving morning, but that'll end very quickly. We'll see some breaks in the clouds. Friday, Black Friday for your shopping, 67. 58 Saturday, 63 Sunday. Late Monday, we'll see some more showers. And by Tuesday, it looks like a real good chance for some rain, and that could be significant. We'll have more coming up in a bit.
Welcome back. Many of you have asked how you can help during this time.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Natalie Potts joins David Carroll with some ways the community can help. David?
And this has been a big part of the story as we've been flooded by requests from people who want to know, what can I do to help?
Yeah, absolutely. The outpouring of love and support has just been overwhelming for the school. Many donated breakfast and lunches to the students who are grieving today. Some even brought a sack of teddy bears. Family members of the victims in the crash and even family members of the fallen 5 donated blood today to show their support. If you want to donate blood, officials ask that you call and make an appointment first. They are trying to pass those O-negative blood types to the top of the list. That is what the critical need is right now. Unfortunately, we must take this time also to warn you about any fraudulent pages circulating around on GoFundMe or any organizations. It's best that you try to verify those pages before you give, and we actually have verified an account if you want to give to the Woodmore Fund. That is on our website, wrcbtv.com.
Natalie, thank you very much. And once again, we're at New Monumental Baptist Church, where there's an overflow, standing room only audience here this evening of people who are awaiting this program to honor those. Once again, we have lost 5 children. There are 6 who are in critical condition, 6 in stable condition. There were 37 children on that bus. 20 of them will be able to be with their families this Thanksgiving. Please continue to keep those who will not be with their families in your thoughts and prayers. Reporting live from New Monumental Baptist with Natalie Potts, I'm David Carroll.
Thank you, David and Natalie. We continue our coverage tonight at 11. We'll look back and hear from some of the people who attended the vigil this evening.
We'll also hear from some of the physicians who had to work so hard yesterday in the emergency room, the trauma ward at Erlanger, when those wounded children were brought in. The NTSB is in town conducting part of their investigation. We'll get a taste of what they're getting into as well. Join us tonight at 11.